What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Okay, so it was announced, was it yesterday or today, that Callum Smith would fight Hassan and Dam? I think it was yesterday, although it's been in the works for like 4 or 5 weeks, hence why Dam turned down the opportunity to fight Gennady Golovkin on his first fight on DAZN, because obviously this was in the works as well. I'm guessing it might be chief support for the AJ Ruiz fight card. I'm not quite sure. I don't even think that fight card's been finalized yet. I think, am I right in thinking Tommy Coyle versus Algieri's on the card, Katie Taylor's on the card, Brook was supposed to be on the card, but he's not on the card. Is Cal Yafai still on this card? Don't know. Who else? Ricky Burns, is he still on the card? Don't know. I should know this, but I don't. So I'm guessing, of all the names that I've just spoken about, I'm going to guess that it probably will be Callum Smith versus Dam as the chief support. I think that's a bigger fight than Katie Taylor's unification fight, which has got no publicity, and Tommy Coyle Algieri. Is it too much to ask? Am I being greedy? And I am a bit negative sometimes. I know people have pointed that out. But am I being fucking greedy to ask Callum Smith, recognized as the #1 super middleweight in the world, ring #1, I don't think he is, by the way, but that's another video, but recognized as the #1 super middleweight in the world, the biggest super middleweight I think I've ever seen? Is it too much to ask that he fights another super middleweight? Am I being greedy here? Am I being greedy? Someone tell me. Ade, you're being greedy. Is it too much to ask that Callum Smith fights a fellow super middleweight? I mean, we haven't seen you since when? September against George Groves. I mean, surely, between then and now, what's that? 9 months? 9 months? Is it too much to ask between then and now that Eddie Hearn finds you a super middleweight, a fellow ranked super middleweight that you can defend your WBA and ring titles against? I mean, and Dam's a career middleweight. A tough son of a bitch, but he's a career middleweight nonetheless. And they couldn't find a super middleweight, right? Again, this is Ndam that was in conversation to fight Golovkin, right? So this isn't Ndam that's decided, you know what, I'm going to be a super middleweight for the next part of my career. This is a guy that was in discussions with Golovkin, who is a middleweight. And yet all of a sudden, here he is, against the biggest super middleweight I think we've ever seen. No, I'm not happy about it. And they need to get rid of this. Again, this is Ade being negative 2.0 now, but they need to get rid of this WBC diamond belt. They said something like Callum Smith defends his Ring Magazine, WBA, and WBC diamond belt. How can you defend the WBC diamond belt? The belt almost doesn't exist. It means nothing, right? WBC champion is Anthony Durrell. I mean, this WBC diamond belt means nothing. If Ndam wins it, it doesn't make him the WBC champion. So I suggest that he just gives that belt back. I get it. They gave it to him as part of this Muhammad Ali trophy celebration against George Groves, but just give it back because it means absolutely nothing. But I am, as you can probably tell, a bit disappointed in this matchup because, again, this is a huge fight card in Madison Square Garden. Obviously, it's a big fight card for DAZN. It's a massive fight card for Sky Sports. And we don't even get him in against another super middleweight. It's disappointing. Again, I don't think the super middleweight division is the hottest right now, but just find me a super middle. Find me someone that's 168 pounds, please. Not Ndam, who wasn't even the biggest 160 guy as well. So that's a bit disappointing. As for Callum Smith, I understand, and some people, again, might criticize me, but I get the fact that I think his wife had a baby and stuff. I understand all that. I get it. But still, I mean, why so long out the ring? Why so long out the ring? Right now, peak of your powers. What is he, 28, 29? You're at your absolute peak right now. You just beat George Groves. A win that I think he gets far too much credit for, if I'm honest with you. George Groves was coming off shoulder surgery and subsequently retired. But all of a sudden, Callum Smith's the demon in division. It's weird because when Chris Eubank Jr. beat up James DeGale, who subsequently retired, everyone was like, oh, but you beat a guy who retired. But Callum Smith just done exactly the same thing. But all of a sudden, he's the man in the division. I don't think he is. I think Benavidez beats him, just saying. And I wouldn't mind seeing him against Caleb Plant. I wouldn't. I expect him to beat Caleb Plant, but I don't think he'll beat Benavidez. I'll say it now. I don't think he will. But yeah, I just feel like the gap's been too long. The gap has been too long for someone that again, is at the peak of their powers. I mean, one fight in 9 months, or what is it, 9 or 10 months, just it's too much of a gap for me. So fingers crossed, if he does come through Hassan and Dam, which I expect him to do, not comfortably, by the way. Hassan Dam's tough, by the way. He's never been stopped. He's lost 3, but he's never been stopped. So if he does come through this one, fingers crossed, he does have, I don't know, a fight in September, another fight in January. Maybe I'm being too unrealistic here, but just keep busy. Keep busy as he waits this, I don't know, big Anfield fight against Gennady Golovkin or Canelo Alvarez. There are big fights out there for him, but it doesn't mean you wait for them. It means that you kind of have fights in between. But yeah, I'm not too impressed with this one. I have to admit, I'm not too impressed with this one. But I do like Callum Smith. I do think he is a good boxer. I don't think he's a great boxer like everyone says. I mean, I remember him not being able to get rid of Nicky Holtzken, a kickboxer who came in as a last-minute replacement for Jurgen Bremer. He looked good against George Groves, but again, this is George Groves that was at the end coming off shoulder surgery. So I want to see a lot more from Callum Smith in 2019 and 2020 before I crown him the #1 super middleweight in the world. I wonder how long he'll stay at the division. He might go to 175 in between trying to get some big fights because he is huge. But as for this fight, I don't think he'll stop Ndam, you know. I don't think he'll stop Ndam. And that's not discrediting Callum Smith. That's more crediting how tough Ndam is. And if he doesn't, people will ask questions, obviously, how can't he stop a middleweight? But Ndam's tough. So I'm predicting this goes points all the way. And that Callum Smith gets stick after because he will, because it's a middleweight he's fighting, but he shouldn't. What do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.